So today we were asked to respond to the question of how far would you go in adapting to a hostile audience? And I'm going to be using the second example in the book Alder, page 420. And that example is speaking before a group of Catholic bishops about your belief in reproductive choices. So I feel like I could really talk about this relate to this situation the most because I did grow up in a Catholic family my entire life. I still practice it to this day. Catholicism has just been very big in my family. And I feel like if any of those situations that were listed in the book, that one I could relate to the most. So I would personally start off by with giving them the definition of what reproductive choices are. And I actually looked that up, and includes an individual's right to plan a family, terminate a pregnancy, and learn about sex education in public schools. So I found that on Fine Law Journals, and it's written by Lauren Just. So personally, I would probably start with each individual topic that the definition gives, and I would elaborate on them. So I would talk about probably the right to plan a family first. And in Catholicism, the right to plan a family, they look at it as you're married first, and you're stable within your faith. You're stable within your faith with your husband your husband or wife, and your faith as a family is super strong, and you feel like it is the correct time to start a family, and you are ready to bring a new life into the world who you are going to guide in God's path, continue the faith super strong with your family, and just leave faith involved super, super, super much. And the next one is terminate a pregnancy. And as you guys can probably know, my persuasive speech was on abortion. And I am pro-life all the way. I am not pro-choice at all. That is probably because of my Catholicism background or believing in God. I believe that if you are going to partake in, sexual activities, and you're not going to be precautious about it at all, and you end up getting pregnant, I truly believe that, it's never a burden to bring a life or be pregnant when you want to be. You want a child, and that goes back to planning a family. You want a child, it's the right time. God thinks it's the right time. It's going to happen. I've always been taught more so along the lines of if you get pregnant at a younger age or some sort, that it's kind of like your punishment. And most people take the easy way out. I'm not going to get really big into details about it because that's not really what this video is about. But in front of them, I would probably tell them the core facts of what actually terminating a pregnancy is, and then go back along the lines of if God wants things to happen, he's going to make them happen. I was also told in my catechism classes that miscarriages do happen. Yes, they're very sad and unfortunate, but sometimes they happen because it wasn't the right time for your family to have a baby. And God said, no, it's not the right time. You need to build stronger in your faith, or maybe you wanted to get married first. You need to be more financially stable. But I do personally believe that God puts us through things for a reason, and he does things in our lives for a reason. And the last thing in the definition was sex education in public schools. And I went to a public school, and I learned about sex education my freshman year of high school. And I really do believe that a lot of schools really need to do this, because I feel like people shy away from it because it's the topic about sex, and everyone's so scared to talk about sex. And I feel like it really shouldn't be a hush-hush topic anymore, because the more it's hushed about, the more it is not done correctly, and bad things happen. People don't use the right protection, and they're just not knowledgeable about it, that they just don't know anything about it, and they get all these bad things that happen to them. And then when these things happen to them, they don't have anything to fall back on to say, well, you know, I didn't know anything about this, so could this happen to me, you know? I feel like, and then when it's not talked about and they do these things, they are scared to go talk to someone about it because it was never brought up in their life. It's always been let's not talk about sex, you know? And I feel like when I'm in front of these Catholic bishops that I feel like they're really understandable about facts, and that's exactly what I would give them. I know I didn't really research these facts. These were kind of really just off the top of my head, but I feel like if I was in a hostile situation like that, with a hostile audience like that, that if I just stuck to the facts and gave them facts and a little bit of a background on those facts and a little bit of personal experience like I did with you guys, then the audience can't really say that I'm wrong or can't really judge me for it because I have facts behind my evidence. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to watch your videos.